She's an architect by trade, but her real blueprint is not building, it's becoming. She's navigating entrepreneurship and alignment with a level of self-awareness most people don't have for decades. Katherine Serrano Sosa is a young entrepreneur, and I cannot wait to have this conversation with her. Welcome back to Success Unscripted, where we redefine success the way we want, from the inside out. Katherine, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Jessica, for having me. I'm so excited for this.
Yeah, so am I. So am I. We met several years ago. You've been my client for several times. You've been on retreats with me, and I'm so excited and so proud of where you are right now.
Thank you.
What I really, really love about you is that you're so young. You became an entrepreneur so young. So where did that come from, that you made a decision for yourself? Like, I'm not going corporate, or I'm getting out of corporate and I'm going to become an entrepreneur. How did you come about that?
It was the pandemic. Honestly, I never thought I was going to become an entrepreneur, but 2020, everything shut down. I was working from home. I had more time because I used to commute 2 hours to the city and 2 hours back. Made me realize, it made me go into a mini crisis of who am I? What's my purpose? And I got into journaling, and I did that Ikaye Venn diagram, the Japanese diagram of like, what's your purpose? At the end of the day, I realized that what I wanted to do, I had to do it on my own way. And it gave me the idea of, let me start my own company. And then started researching, and then little by little, I just made it happen.
Oh, I love that for you. I mean, 2020 was a pivotal moment for many of us,
Yes.
right? And it really gave us a moment of self-reflection and really working to understand. That's one thing. I think actually taking the leap, though, that's a whole other thing. And it takes bravery and it takes courage. So talk to me about, okay, it's like bravery and courage. Now I'm doing it. So then what also made you think to yourself, I also need to work on myself. Like, I also need to work on the internal part in order to make sure that what I'm doing is in true alignment with who I'm becoming.
Yeah, it was multi-layered. So company went live in 2021 as a side gig. Then I did it part-time. But beginning of 2023, that's when I started full-time on my own. Around that same time, I went through a really tough breakup. So personally, I was just emotionally unsure. And that led me to start therapy. So it started with going through my little traumas, figuring out where I wasn't like truly aligned in certain ways. Therapy also taught me that it was affecting my work side. And I think a few months in, because we started in 2023 around July, I think seeing you, the way you spoke, and I was very inspired, and I realized I want to become like you, or like have that aura and that version of confidence. And I knew I wasn't there, and therapy wasn't going to be the only thing I needed. So it was that awareness of, I think it was the awareness of that I needed to seek help and gain wisdom from other people who knew better than me.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love that level of self-awareness. Like I said, many of us don't have so early on. And I think a lot of us have like that rough exterior. At least I did, that I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it alone. And then when you move into entrepreneurship, you almost feel that way even more so. But you actually took the opposite route of, let me get help. And so what has that done for you? And, you and I have worked together for some time, and we work on professional growth and personal growth and all of that. But where do you think from 2023, that version of you, from 23 version of you to the 2025 version of you, I feel like I've seen a quantum leap.
Yes.
Talk to us about that.
Yeah. So also preface 2023, I turned 30. So I think it was also this, I'm entering a new decade. Yep. I am no longer technically an adult with like training wheels. I'm a full adult. Yeah. And going into entrepreneurship, that kind of made it even more serious.
Yeah.
But yes, I've changed so much. I think I'm a completely different human overall. I used to be extremely introverted back then. And I think we had a conversation the last time we did like the New Year group events, workshop. Yeah. I was losing the word. But where I finally realized that when I was little, I was very extroverted and I had that confidence. And that's why these 2 years have not becoming someone new. I think I've been just breaking down those walls that life kind of made me build.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm finally becoming, I guess, someone who feels very confident and assertive. And the communication part has been the biggest part for me.
You're going to make me cry. You're going to make me cry because this is so beautiful. Okay, wait. I need a second because I often say, and I've been saying it more, that it's like, I don't want you to be, not you, like any of my clients, to become anybody new. I want you to remember who the hell you are. Because to me, exactly what you're saying, it's like life is what makes us build these walls and change who we are. I want us to remember our power, and I see it in you. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. I appreciate you so much.
So I guess talk to us about 2025, you and who, like you standing in your power. What does that look like these days?
Standing in my power right now means that I take aligned action and I really go within and not externally.
Yeah.
I feel that the old me who had these boundaries was too much outer looking and trying to see what would others say, do, how they would be affected by my actions. I was very much a people pleaser.
Yeah.
I'm the eldest daughter, so I also had this weight on myself I gave myself because I felt like I needed to do things for everyone. And now I create those boundaries and I'm very respectful and I still care and give back, but in the capacity where I don't feel I'm spilling all my cup into others. And I think that's been hard. And, you know, it ebbs and flows. Sometimes I feel like I'm overgiving and then I take a step back and realign. But the self-awareness of saying, I can see it now. I don't just burn out and then figure it out.
Yeah, we often speak about shortening that timeline. Like that's the win. It's not that I don't do X anymore. It's that I shorten that timeline between me doing it and me realizing, oh, no, this is not what I want. This is not what I should have done. It's shortening that timeline. That's the real win for sure. And you spoke about, you know, I just turned 50. We spoke about those milestone ages and those milestone things. I think I want us to take us back to when, like maybe a 16-year-old, like 16 is always a big year, or maybe 15 for us, when you're quinceañera or whatever. When you think about that, what would your 16-year-old self tell you now? Or what would you tell your 16-year-old self?
I would tell her to focus on herself, that she is worthy and she is enough. I lacked for a long time a lot of like that awareness that I am enough. I felt like I always had to keep achieving or hitting certain milestones in order to be noticed or like be someone good for my parents, etc. So like just like being where you are enough as you are, and what you accomplish is also you have to celebrate those accomplishments. I felt like I was just kept going. I hit a milestone, kept going because it was not something that I thought it was important.
And so as you continue growing, so now you're 32 years old. And as you continue growing and becoming, what does that look like?
I think it's still, I'm very type A, so I like have structure, but also allowing the flow. You posted something on social media that is actually my screensaver. It's like the idea of letting it go. I mean, if it goes a different direction, just let it be, like detaching. So for me, becoming is really diving into that detachment in relationships, in work, in everything, because things will flow. I just need to take those aligned actions and things will flourish on its own.
Yes. So, I mean, you know, we say like align action or divine action. How do we know? Like, how do you even know what that is?
Yeah. I think a lot of it is about tuning into your own feelings. And I'm still learning because I feel when I already know if I'm overthinking or I'm feeling anxious, then I need to step back and say like, whatever decision I make then, it's a reaction, not a response. And we've worked on that a lot together. And I think that's me now, where like sometimes I just need to wait and pause, meditate, and see how I feel later on about it. And that's where I make the decision. Or if it feels like I'm super excited and it's like a hell yes, then all right, I'm just going to take the decision in that moment.
Yeah. So you spoke about celebrating and we're speaking about alignment and things like that. What are some practices that you do for yourself in order to make sure that you stay in alignment? Because to me, once we're in it, it's too late, right? Once we're in that moment, in that thing, in that argument, like it's okay. We could break and stop it in that moment. But I like to work on before that happens so that I can have more clarity, take that more aligned action, take that more divine action, things like that. So what are some of your practices that you're bringing into this season of your life?
My morning routine is sacred to me. I try to go to the gym in the morning and go for a walk. Now it's nicer. I'm walking outside, which I'm big on nature. That definitely grounds me. And if I don't do that, a must every day is journaling, and I do a gratitude journal. So I write down what I'm grateful for and then also anything that's in my mind. And I think that kind of centers me. And I have a specific journal that every week I have like a intention. So I write on Sundays, I set the intention up and I write little goals for that week that are personal. Like lately it's been remember your why and like stay present, because there's a lot moving plates in my life. I'm like, I just want to be present.
Yeah.
And that's really been helpful. And also when I can meditate and like working on my breathing and creating those moments between the workday where I'm not just overwhelming myself up, where I don't have that presence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want us to move a little bit. That's kind of some of the internal work that you do and that you've done in order to make sure that you stay grounded, that you stay focused, that you stay disciplined. Talk to us about some of the external work that you're doing, like some of the projects that you've worked on, some of the things that you're excited about. Like, what do you do? I know obviously you're an architect, but what does that mean?
Yes. Being architect, my favorite metaphor is that because I think architecture is frozen music to me. So I always say we're the composers and directors of an orchestra. So we do the designing, but we're also coordinating with the client, the contractors, the engineers. So there's a lot of moving pieces that I work with. So not every day's the same. And I think to me, as someone who has always been doing a lot of things, it keeps my brain stimulated and excited, whether it's talking to a new client for a potential project or reviewing submittals for a construction project we're building and making sure things are right for the contractor to build properly, or designing and doing like red lines for my team to actually do the drawings properly. But yeah, it's exciting. I think I never get bored. Times can get stressful, but again, it's those tools to get myself realigned that helps moving along.
And I think if I remember correctly, you work on residential and commercial?
Yes, and a little bit of a healthcare nonprofit. Actually, did design my very first Habitat for Humanity house this year.
Did?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you'll have to invite me to the next one. So much fun.
Yeah. It's designing. I just designed it.
You designed it.
And permits are getting processed, so we hope to break ground in the fall, if not in the spring. So
You have to invite me
I'll
one
invite
day.
you. I want to do a woman's day to like co-build it, because I don't want to just be the one designing. I want to be part of the build.
So
Yeah.
exciting. You will definitely have to invite me to that
Yeah.
for sure. Obviously this is called Success Unscripted here because I believe that there's so many different versions of success for us, right? And our version of success changes over the years.
Yeah.
And so talk to me a little bit about, so you're in school, you're becoming an architect. What did success look like for you, let's say when you graduated?
For me, when I graduated, it was getting that job, getting a job where I could really learn and touch every piece of a project. I was always very curious of everything. Sometimes when you get out of school, you work at a company where you just do one thing.
Right.
You just do bathrooms or you just do the exterior. And so I was very intentional working in a firm where I was basically managing projects a year out of college. And they let me learn how to do permits and other elements.
What a blessing.
Yeah, it was a huge blessing. To me, then success was absorbing all this information and learning as much as I could. Also, right out of college, I went through like a health journey. Starting to care about my body physically was important to me. And so I think those two things were like, to me, that was success, like at doing those.
So what's success now?
Success now, I feel it shifts every now and then. But to me right now is having a synergy between work and life, where I'm getting my work done and I feel accomplished in the projects I'm producing, completing, but at the same time enjoying time with family. I just became an auntie 3 months ago, and it's amazing being able to sometimes get out of work early and go see my niece or babysit because they need to do something on the weekends. So yeah, it's really nice to do that.
Yeah.
I think right now for me, success would be to really grow my portfolio in a more balanced way. I've been doing a lot of residential. So I've been really working on getting more commercial work, healthcare, like outpatient facilities. And I would love to hire someone in person to kind of take some of that workload that I've been doing in person. I have 2 drafters that are more virtual. So growing the company slowly and sustainably, I think that's the most important part.
Growth. What does growth look like for you? So when you think about year over year, right? I know we worked on some of your pricing and your numbers, but when you think about growth 5 years from now, or maybe 3 years from now, when you hit that 5-year mark, like we said, those kind of like those anniversaries, they mean a lot to us, right? And so there's I should be here, or I want to be there. So what does that look like for you as far as building your business, making sure that it's sustainable, making sure that you're in alignment, making sure like there's a lot
Yeah, there's a lot of
It could feel overwhelming sometimes when we think about it.
It is. And I've been trying to take baby steps. Definitely, like, my company will be technically 4 in July. So next year will be 5 years. I think by then I hope that I feel like I would be very established. Like, I've been building my brand and authority. And I think hopefully by the time it's 5 years, like, I've made my name for myself and work just kind of flows a little more smoothly. The society and the world affects everything. So, but I know like it'll be that. But definitely like 3-5 years from now, I want it to work on its own where I can step back more and just be the creative mind or the face of the company and getting the kids. I want to have family and I want to travel. So how can I shape that company so it gives me that time back?
Yes, yes. They say that if we can't leave our company and it doesn't like generate money on its own, that we're still really self-employed when we're not like the CEO. Yeah. And so I think from what I'm hearing you say, that's the goal. And I also think like in our heads, it's like a 5-year mark, but my understanding is that the 7-year mark is really kind of where our companies should be self-sustaining, right? Yeah, so that's definitely the goal. You spoke about building your brand. So what does that look like?
My mind and showing up as me and telling my story. I think for a long time, I was afraid to talk about myself because I didn't think it was important or like I'm just another person. But realizing that I can actually influence people and like I'm one of 2% of Latina licensed architects.
That part.
Yeah. And this year has been a blessing. And I think we manifested it because I mentioned that this year I wanted to do more speaking engagement.
Yes.
I got to speak at Harvard for a Latina conference.
Let's talk. That's definitely something we worked on.
Yeah.
So tell us about that.
So I think it connects to the branding part. I've been very vocal on my personal Instagram account of what I care about, but also I have a very established brand of my company. And they now become very connected. They're one identity. At the beginning, I was trying to force them to be 2 things, but we are one and the same.
That's right.
With a few changes here and there. So actually through Instagram, they reached out, the ladies from the nonprofit group from Harvard, and they wanted me to speak at their entrepreneurship panel. And I was the youngest one there. And someone else had like 20 plus years of like experience in finance. Another one owned 3 restaurants. But being able to talk about my journey, the short journey of entrepreneurship, so it's more, I guess, connective with the students. Like when they came to me afterwards and talked to me, it's like, oh, you inspired me. Like, I love that you're doing this. And being an immigrant too, they connected. So that was very inspiring for me. And it kind of pivoted also. Then the following month, I spoke at Princeton among other Latina architects. I thought it was a dream because I've never seen so many Latina women who are architects in one room. And seeing that we do matter, we do make a difference, and we do make influence to the world.
Oh my gosh. This is why I talk about the power of our words, the power of our presence, and the power of our influence.
Yeah.
And I mean, I said it about 3 times already, but I'm going to say it one more time. I am so proud of you. I am so proud of you for speaking about yourself, for talking about your story. And, you know, we speak a lot about how life humbles us and how we love to wear that word as a badge of honor. And this is what happens when you stop humbling yourself and shrinking yourself and speaking about the things you are doing because they're just facts. Like you are out here killing it. You're out here. What is it? Percentage of Latina architects?
2%.
2%. You're one of the 2% licensed Latina architects. Like, talk about it. And it could get you in the halls of Princeton, in the halls of Harvard, where people are knocking on your door. And we talk about aligned action. We talk about divine action. The action is you speaking about yourself. The action is about you bragging about yourself because it's just a fact. And so, again, I am so happy for you and I am so proud of you. And I love that you are now really honing in on the power that it is to speak about ourselves and to really own our presence. Congratulations.
Thank you. And it really influenced personal life too. I think that has been a thing that I've recently learned that it's made a difference.
Yeah, so talk about the difference.
So I think the more I feel empowered in like what I do, but also who I am, I can show up for people more authentically and more aligned, and that it creates an even more genuine connection with like family members. Like my relationship with my mom over the past 2 years have like improved drastically. And with my siblings too. And I'm in the dating world now. And I think that has influenced also how I approach that.
Yes.
Because before I was, very timid and you attract the wrong type of people to you.
Yes. We attract exactly what we don't want.
So
Yeah.
I'm definitely seeing that shift. So it's definitely looking better now.
Oh my gosh, Katherine, I'm like, coaching with me will get you in the halls of Harvard. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for being here with me. I appreciate you. I am proud of you, and I'm so excited to see where you go next.
Thank you so much for being you.
Same. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with us on Success Unscripted, where we redefine success and figure out what that looks like from the inside out. If you're interested in hearing more about Katherine, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram. It's Katherine A. Serrano Sosa for my personal, or you can do rooted_architecture for the company and learn about different things about architecture. I love educating through that. And my email is Katherine@rootedarchitecturestudio.com if you want to.
Yes, Katherine with a K, but we will put it all in the show notes. If something resonated with you today, please reach out and let us know. Please subscribe and share this with a friend. I appreciate you, and we'll see you next time on Success Unscripted.